With a population of only 1,200, this is a close community. Small businesses support daily life here. Cultural gatherings bring people together. And fishing plays a central role in the local economy. This is the story of South Caicos and how tourism is changing the island. Here at the School for Field Studies, our research group aimed to assess the socio-ecological impacts of tourism in South Caicos. We examined seafood access, household food equity, change in culture due to tourism, and local perception of environmental impacts. We each had a specific research question. First, what is the composition of the local marine harvest by species and quantity? And how much of this harvest is sold to fish processing plants versus distributed within the local community? Second, how does tourism impact food security long-term in South Caicos? Third, how have tourism-driven changes in the fishing economy on South Caicos influenced the cultural and religious practices of small-scale fishers, and can tourism commodify or reshape local belief systems? And fourth, to what extent do perceptions of tourism's environmental impacts align with measured environmental conditions in South Caicos? To address our questions, we used a mixed methods approach, which included marine and drone roving surveys, and in-person interviews with 18 stakeholders and community members. The research took place exclusively in South Caicos and was carried out between April 7th and April 24th of 2026. This is Jerry Camp. It's a peninsula in South Caicos and a popular destination for ecotourism activities like kayaking and paddleboarding. We utilized the site to analyze any potential environmental impacts and to find a baseline for future data collection. During our research period, we visited 3 different times, which is impressive because the road to get there is very bumpy. Each day, we geared up in snorkel equipment and worked as a team on a 30-minute roving fish survey, observing and recording species diversity and abundance of fish. Then, we used drone surveys to assess megafauna populations in the area. From the sky, we saw stingrays, eagle rays, and even 27 sharks in all. On days not spent at Jerry Camp, we conducted interviews at various sites around South Caicos, including local businesses, residential households, and communal locations like Regatta Beach. After 3 weeks of collecting data, we spent another week analyzing it. Here were our main findings. First, for seafood impact. Approximately 95% of seafood caught is exported, limiting local access and raising concerns in the community about long-term food security. For food equity, the results indicate that while tourism has not yet directly reduced food availability, it has contributed to a dependence on imported goods and overall rising food costs. From a cultural perspective, it is possible that tourism will have long-term effects on practices. Religious participation has declined in churches due to demanding work schedules, sometimes brought on by the increase in tourism. Some practices are also being subtly adapted in response to visitors, suggesting early signs of cultural commodification. For environmental perception, views among stakeholders were mixed. While many acknowledged declining marine resources, tourism was often not viewed as the primary driver. Overfishing and weak enforcement were. Ecological survey data showed no clear short-term trends, highlighting the need for long-term monitoring in order to understand the impacts of tourism on the environment. These findings stress the need for improved fisheries management, infrastructure development, and more inclusive governance to ensure sustainable and equitable tourism development for the future.